vaccine. I think it's more of that carrot in the hopes that, people will feel like if they get vaccinated, then they'll be able to get something, and certainly taking their masks off.
Exceptions include people outdoors in large crowds and people using public transportation. State and local guidelines are also changing at a different pace, says ABC's Alex Stone in Los Angeles.
Here in Los Angeles County, home to 10 million residents, health officials are saying not so fast. That even though the CDC guidance has masks coming off in many cases, and worksite rules are set by Cal OSHA, and since any store or concert venue would be a worksite, that the rules won't change until Cal OSHA says so, and it's not meeting until May 20th. Unless that meeting gets bumped up sooner, masks remain on in much of California.
Colonial Pipeline paid a ransom to hackers whose cyber attack led to the shutdown of the nation's largest pipeline, says ABC's Aaron Katersky.
Colonial Pipeline declined to comment to ABC News, but we're told a ransom in the low millions was paid to the criminal hacking gang DarkSide, which froze the pipeline's administrative systems and threatened to release proprietary data online. Operating systems were not compromised, but the pipeline shut down for 6 days. The fuel is flowing again, resolving any shortages, but the FBI worried the payment only increased the hackers' extortionate power.
Financial Times says DarkSide also targeted Japanese tech giant Toshiba earlier this month. Another night of Israeli airstrikes in Gaza. The Israeli military says it's trying to destroy tunnels used by militants. The Palestinian Ministry of Health says 119 Palestinians have been killed so far and over 800 hurt. You're listening to ABC News.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Nasal irrigation gets rid of germs by rinsing the nasal cavity, but neti pots are hard to use and, frankly, kind of gross. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. Millions use Navage for fast, all-natural relief from sinus congestion and allergies, and to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is easy to use, affordable, and comes with an absolute guarantee of satisfaction. You wash your hands and brush your teeth every day. Now it's time to start cleaning your nose with Navage. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
House Republicans are set to vote today on their pick for the party's number 3 post in leadership. The favorite is New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, who has the backing of former President Trump. Today's vote comes after the party bounced Congresswoman Liz Cheney. She was ousted after repeatedly pushing back against stories that the 2020 election was stolen. A deadly attack at a mosque in Kabul, Afghanistan's capital. At least 12 people were killed, including the imam, in a bombing during Friday prayers. At least 15 more were hurt. Despite voters in Missouri saying they want a Medicaid expansion, Republican lawmakers, including the governor, are saying no to the plan. ABC's Kent Martin is in St. Louis with the story.
More than half, or 53% of Missouri voters, approved expansion of the Medicaid program. Most of the program, about 90%, would be funded by the federal government. The state also has millions of dollars left from the COVID-19 relief program. Yet the Republican-controlled Missouri legislature refused to fund the expansion, citing their concern over the long-term costs. Governor Mike Parson, also a Republican, says without funding, he won't sign off on the expansion. Officials with the Missouri Hospital Association called Parsons' decision disappointing, but said a legal fight will follow. Kent Martin, ABC News, St. Louis.
Blast from the past in the phone world. Nokia is teaming up with Verizon on a new flip phone. It's due out next week. It'll include some apps like Facebook and Google Maps, albeit squished onto a 2.8-inch screen. Phone will sell for $80. This is ABC News.
Hey renters, it's Ty Pennington for Guaranteed Rate. Stop paying your landlord's mortgage every month. Look, mortgage rates are still historically low, so go to rate.com now to get a mortgage on your first home and upgrade your life. Like a legit home office, a new deck for summer, maybe a pool, you name it. Guaranteed Rate can help you go from renting to buying like crazy fast. Start at rate.com today. That's rate.com.
Equal housing lender, subject to credit approval. Company NMLS ID 2611, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
You know, folks are saying once you've used a Massey Ferguson, you won't ever want another tractor. They're tough, versatile, and dependable. And now with the change of season special at NC Tractor and Farm Supply, you'll be wise to get your special deal. Our tractors have been running in families for generations. Ask about the Phil Sheehan special going on right now. NC Tractor, 299 Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton. Call 288-0395.
Good morning and happy Friday. We are starting chilly again this morning, but luckily we'll see a milder afternoon. Highs today in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s. Some showers, though, are possible later this afternoon and early this evening. Most areas will stay dry, but we're definitely dry overnight tonight. We start in the mid to upper 40s Saturday morning. Dry and pleasant Saturday afternoon with highs in the low to mid 70s, so a beautiful day for outdoor plans. Few showers in the forecast Sunday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
Well, you know what? If we could just bottle up this weekend's weather and hold it till summertime, July and August, wouldn't that be nice? We're starting out our morning at 46. We're up to 48 now, climbing up to 70 for a daytime high and mostly clear skies. And it's going to be that way all the way through Monday. And then the rain returns to the forecast Monday night, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then clearing out of here again for Thursday. So our weather is really kind of nice. I kind of like that. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Wake Up Call. This is hour number 2. We missed you the first hour. If you're not with us, we missed you. If you were, thank you for hanging around. Now I have these death announcements this morning. Betty Keeter Robinson, 82 of Shelby, died Wednesday at her home. A memorial service will be planned by the family at a later date following cremation. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service is in charge of those arrangements for Betty Keeter Robinson of Shelby. Sue Cash Jones, age 80 of Rutherfordton, died Monday, May 10th. In keeping with her wishes, no formal service is planned. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements. An online guest registry available at pagetking.com for Sue Cash Jones. Debbie Ware, age 63 of Mooresboro, passed away Tuesday at her residence. A memorial service is being planned and will be announced at a later date. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with those arrangements, and online guest registry available at harrelsonfuneralhome.com for Debbie Ware. Vernon Harrell, age 91 of Forest City, passed away Sunday, May 9th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. At the family's request, a socially distanced funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock today at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. The family will receive friends in a socially distanced manner 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Vernon Harrell. Thomas Wiseman Bo Green, age 73 of Charlotte, died Tuesday at his residence. The funeral service will be held 1 o'clock today at Hunter Acres Baptist Church, Charlotte. The body will lie in state from 12 noon until the hour of service in the sanctuary. Burial will follow with a graveside service at 4 o'clock at Concord Baptist Church Cemetery in Bostic. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of those arrangements for Thomas Wiseman Bo Green. Hester Arrowwood Flack, age 96 of Union Mills, passed away at home Tuesday, May the 11th. The family will receive friends from 5 until 7 o'clock this evening at McMahon's Funeral Home. The funeral service will be at McMahon's Funeral Home at 1 o'clock Saturday, May 15th. Hester will lie in state 30 minutes prior to the service. Burial will follow at Round Hill Baptist Church Cemetery. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for Hester Arrowwood Flack. Janice Lee Chaparral of Raleigh died May 7th. There will be a service held in the Sanctuary Forest Hill Baptist Church Saturday, May 15th, beginning at 1 o'clock. And Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Janice Lee Chaparral. Edmund Renee Dangle died Monday, May 10th. Rosary service will be today at 1 o'clock at the Immaculate Conception Catholic Church, West Main Street, Forest City. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Edmund Renee Dangle. Those are the death announcements we have this morning in-house. For the complete information on these, tune in this morning at 11:35 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report. As they become available to us, we'll have the complete obituaries. Stand by now for the Rush Limbaugh Morning Update and then Chronicles of the Old West coming up.
Last August, the members of the Business Roundtable signed a document promising to be kinder and gentler. The CEOs of 181 large corporations vowed to run their companies to benefit their employees and their communities, not just the shareholders. Now the New York Times is slamming those corporations for ditching their promises of a gentler capitalism during the coronavirus shutdown. According to the Times, key signatories of the pledge are laying off workers, and they aren't adequately protecting the employees with masks. Instead, they're paying dividends to their shareholders while our planet is under assault from a pandemic. The Times quotes a worker who was furloughed by a big hotel chain. He complains that the hotel made billions and billions of dollars, but the money didn't go to the employees. Now, he can't believe the company told him, "We don't need you." There are apparently a lot of people that don't understand that the first purpose of business is to make money. If a hotel chain doesn't have customers, the company can't afford to keep the staff employed to sit around and do nothing. Same thing goes for media companies. This New York Times article doesn't mention that the New York Times has laid off people many, many, many times for the same reasons. Capitalism is not gentle, and it isn't welfare. It is viciously competitive, it's bloodthirsty, and it's what makes the world go round.
When we bought our house, we loved that it was surrounded by trees. Incredible curb appeal. But every fall, all those leaves, our gutters were a mess. We had overflowing downspouts, water damage. That all went away when we got Leaf Filter. And what came back? Yeah, our love for trees.
Leaf Filter is America's #1 gutter guard and comes with a lifetime transferable warranty. So schedule your free estimate today. Call 844-300-LEAF. That's 844-300-LEAF. Or visit tryleaffilter.com and keep gutters clean for good.
Did you know that you can self-direct your IRA or 401k and passively invest in cash-flowing real estate? Introducing PassiveInvesting.com, a national private equity real estate firm. We have an offering available to invest right now in an institutional-level luxury apartment community in Orlando. This offering accepts funds from self-directed retirement accounts. Only available to independently verified accredited investors. Visit PassiveInvesting.com for more details on how you can invest with your IRA or 401k today.
I live alone and rarely have visitors. So when I slipped and fell in the kitchen last month and couldn't get to a phone, I knew I was in trouble.
Help!
I could barely move.
Help!
I tried calling for help, but no one could hear me. As I lay there, I couldn't help but think of my kids and grandkids having to go on without me. I was terrified. It took 8 hours for my neighbor to find me. It could have been the end of me. That's when I knew I needed Life Alert. With just one press of this button, I'm connected to the Life Alert Center, where I can get the help I need, even when I cannot reach a phone. With Life Alert, I'm never alone.
Please call 1-800-414-1305 for your free Life Alert brochure. That's 1-800-414-1305. 1-800-414-1305. Call for your free Life Alert brochure today at 1-800-414-1305.
When you want your ad dollars to reach the masses, call the sales team at WCAB. Call Tracy or Jim, 828-287-3356, 100.9 FM and 590 AM.
Good morning. Good morning.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
was said of Dave Mather that he spent as much time in jail as he did in the occupation of putting others in there. Dave is also known as Mysterious Dave Mather because supposedly little is known about his life. But we know enough that if he notched his pistol each time he assisted in sending someone to their reward, he would have had to carry a couple of guns. In 1876, he assisted in the lynching of an innocent man. In January of 1880, he killed 2 men and seriously wounded another. 3 days later, he killed another man. February of that year, he helped lynch 3 men. In 1884, during a stint as a lawman in Dodge City, he got crosswise with Thomas Nixon and killed him. Dave was heard to mumble, "I ought to have killed him 6 months ago." An example of the scrapes Dave got into and his method of getting out of them happened on May 10, 1885. Mather had been playing cards in Ashland, Kansas with a grocer named David Barnes. After Barnes won 2 out of 3 hands, Mather threw his cards at Barnes and picked up the pot of money. David Barnes pulled his gun and put a hole in Mather's hat. He was aiming elsewhere. Meanwhile, Mather's brother, who happened to be the bartender, pulled his gun and started shooting. Dave Mather did likewise. When the shooting stopped and the room cleared of gun smoke, David Barnes, the card player, was dead, and 2 innocent bystanders had holes in their legs. The Mather brothers were arrested, but after posting a $3,000 bond, Dave mysteriously rode out of town to seek more notches for his gun elsewhere. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
16 minutes after 7 o'clock down with this. Thank goodness it's finally Friday Friends Day. Let's go to the Sheriff's Department now and find out what's been happening over there. And Deputy Butron is on the phone to give us that update. Good morning. How you doing today?
Good, sir. How are you?
Good. Tell us what's been going on.
In the past 24 hours, Sheriff's Office had responded to 135 calls for service. The jail's processed 10 arrests. There's currently 166 detained in the county jail. For incident reports, William Galligan reported a misdemeanor larceny and damage to property. He has some solar panels stolen in that incident. For arrest reports, Joshua Adam Price was served with an order for arrest for failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Bruce Wayne Givens Jr. was served with an order for arrest for failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Marcus O'Neill Hill was served with a warrant for assault on a female, assault with a deadly weapon, and communicating threats. And Davis Lee Vickers was charged with possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. And that's all we've got.
Deputy Butron, thank you for that report, and you be safe out there this weekend.
Thank you, sir.
And I'll be back with the next phone call right after this.
Good morning. The impact COVID-19 has had on our community has caused many changes. And some of these changes is our jobs. If your job situation is changing because of a layoff or restructuring, you may have to make several decisions. One of these decisions is what to do with your retirement plan. Let's make sure that your investment plan stays on track and doesn't derail your retirement ideas. Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale from Rutherford, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and I would love to help you. Please give us a call at 828-287-9197. Our office is located in the Food Line Plaza in Rutherford. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, and member of the SIPC.
Here's Amber now with the report from 911 Communications Center. Amber, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. What's on your report from the past 24 hours?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 446 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 52 calls for EMS and 35 for rescue. There were 135 calls for the Sheriff's Office, 55 for Forest City, 3 for Lake Lure, 23 for Rutherfordton, and 51 for Spindale. For fire calls, Ellenborough responded to a motor vehicle accident. Forest City responded to a carbon monoxide leak. Green Hill responded to a residential fire alarm. Hudley responded to an industrial fire alarm. Lake Lure responded to an industrial fire alarm with Fairfield assisting. Rutherfordton responded to a residential fire alarm, and Sandy Mush responded to 2 motor vehicle accidents. And that's it.
Thanks so much. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. Ruby Taylor is up next, reporting from the Danieltown SDO Fire District. Ruby, everything going well with you?
Yes.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. What's on the report?
The fire department didn't have any calls. And on my birthday calendar today, I got Arvina Henson, Eleanor Rush, and Chandler Kashner having birthdays today. Hope they have a nice day. Tomorrow, Betty Yelton, hope she has a nice day. And then Luke Doggett, Sunday, and I hope he has a nice day. And the signs are in the breast today, tomorrow, and Sunday all. Jim, that's all I've got.
All right, Ruby. Enjoy your weekend.
You too.
Bye. Now, wouldn't it be nice to get medical attention and not have to leave your home? Now you can, thanks to Remote MD. Remote MD is pleased to announce they have initiated a telemedicine program for residents in North Carolina. The telemedicine program is available to all residents in North Carolina, including Rutherford and Polk counties. It is designed to treat common medical illnesses right from your home. Now, isn't that great? No appointment is necessary, no waiting for days to see someone. This is a wonderful opportunity for people who are struggling financially or have a complicated insurance plan. But your health is important to you and you want attention now. There are no copays or deductible, and unlimited usage programs start at just $59.99 a month. Learn more about this program. Contact Remote MD today at www.remotemd.net. Again, that's www.remotemd.net. Now it's 7:22. Here's Gary Wilson on the phone from up in the Fairfield Mountains Fire District. Gary, thank goodness it's finally Friday, friend.
It is. Took a long time to get here, didn't it?
It seemed like it did.
Been one of them long weeks, seemed like. But peaceful start this morning, kind of partly cloudy out there, and about 47 degrees, so a lot warmer than it was yesterday. And we've had one fire call in the last 24 hours. That was for a fire alarm, it's a false alarm, so no problem with that. Everything else is rolling along pretty quietly, and things getting greened out, and flowers are blooming, so maybe summer's finally going to head this way.
I think he called May the right thing because it may be warm and it may be cool. So I guess this is the right name for it.
That's about the truth. That's kind of an interim month right there. It'll fool you sometimes.
Yeah.
But not unusual to get a little cool stamp like that in early May.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
I like most of that ought to be behind us now, hopefully.
Summertime is coming for sure.
Summertime's a coming. I like it myself. I like summer weather. It don't get too hot for me and get too cold for me in a hurry, but I like the heat. And we're other than that, Jim, I don't think we got anything else going on up here this morning.
All right, Gary, I hope you have a good, safe weekend. Enjoy it, and I will see you back here next time.
All right, you too, Jim.
Thanks. Bye. Well, before we get to the next phone call, we're going to step across the road over here, see what's going on. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply is a variety store. Here's why I say that. Cedar shavings, 5.0 cubic feet, $7.99 per bag. They have Pontiac red potatoes, candy baked potatoes, $18 for 50 pound. River Run dog food, specially priced. Plenty of horse quality hay. Refill propane, $10.99 for a 20-pound tank. Wrangler Sweet Feed, $8.69 for the 50-pound bag. Cardinal Tissue and Paper Towels, 6-pack, $4.49. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply is the largest farm supply store, and you should come and see how much you can save. 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherfordton. And I'm seeing a stack of pallets over there right now. They move it in. If you need pallets, they've got a bunch of them here at Farmer's Friend right across the street here from us. And if you go shopping over there and don't have time to stop see us, toot at us as you pull out of the driveway. We'll know you're here. Now here's Bob Hodge. He's over in the Hudlow Fire District this Friday morning. Bob, good morning.
Well, good Friday morning.
You feeling good today, Bob?
Feeling pretty good this morning there. The weekend's coming up here, so got another week behind us here.
But, I know it. Moving on fast.
Yes, it is. This is already middle of May here already. But sometimes it don't feel like it's middle of May. It feels like December yesterday morning there.
I know it.
Well, Jim, it's going along pretty good up here this morning. And with the fire department, we answered a fire alarm call and a medical call, and that's about it with the fire department. Birthdays for Saturday, Bruce McMillan, and for Sunday, Dustin Pondexter. And Jim, that's about it. News is sort of short up here this morning. Things are running along good, and maybe we'll all have a good weekend.
Do you have Mama Jean's breakfast cooked for her yet?
Not yet, but we're working on it.
All right, you make sure you feed her good.
Oh, I'll see to that. Got to keep her in shape.
I know. Bob, have a good weekend. Thanks for the report. I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's Hudlow reporting in this morning with Bob Hodge. You can catch Bob Hodge most afternoons, too, with the afternoon report.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
Now, the Cherry Mountain Fire District is where we're stopping next, and Sue Price is there on the phone to give us the report. Sue, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, Jim. Hope you are.
I am indeed, yes.
Well, good. Looks like we're going to have a nice day today. The sun hadn't quite popped out too bright out here yet, but I guess it's going to later.
Yeah, I think it will. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, well, that'll be nice. Well, let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department. I don't have any birthdays on my calendar. There's none on Fairview's. First Broad's got a birthday for Sudie Shepherd, so I hope Sudie's going to have a good day today. We hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day. And in my announcements, the Golden Valley Community Club will be meeting Monday night. A potluck supper at 7, and then the business meeting. And Duncans Creek Presbyterian Church will be having memorial June the 6th, and special singers will be the Piney Mountain Boys, and everyone's invited. And so far, that's the only announcements I have, Jim. It's just quiet and calm over here, looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one.
Thanks, Sue. You enjoy your day as well and your weekend, and I'll check with you on Monday.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Hey, listen, before it gets really, really hot out there and the ground gets hot and mucky, and you need to, if your septic tank needs to be pumped, call Mid-South. I'm happy to share good news with you. If you have a septic tank on your property, you'll be glad to know there is a new professional pumper in town, Mid-South Pumping, owned and operated by one of our own, John Torvinen. Mid-South Pumping serves local communities such as Rutherford, Polk, Cleveland, McDowell, and Lake Lure, offering a wide variety of services at affordable prices. Get it done before summer gets here and really gets bad, if you know what I mean. Mid-South Pumping offers around-the-clock services to ensure your business doesn't become everyone else's. Count on Mid-South Pumping for pumping septic tanks, locating services, uncovering septic tank lids, and more. Make that call to Mid-South Pumping in Rutherfordton at 828-755-6280. Now it's 7:29, almost 7:30. We're going up to Shingle Hollow now. Is this Tina White?
It sure is this Friday morning.
Well, how's your breakfast?
Breakfast was good.
Good.
Simple.
Good. Now you got the full day ahead of you. School's out for your daughter, right? She don't have to go right now, right? Is it out or is it over?
She's going.
Yes,
Got to take her to school.
Okay.
The last day, I think, is May 27th.
Okay, that won't be long.
No, 9 days, I think she said this morning.
I know they're counting down the days, aren't they?
Mhm. I am too. I enjoy when she has breaks. I like to be around her.
Yeah, good. That's a good attitude.
Shingle Hollow up here is beautiful this morning. That sun's peeking through some clouds over the mountains. I read something I read a good bit, and I read something. The world's not flat. It's not round. It's just mountains.
I love the mountains.
I do too. Well, the garden co-op meeting last night went well. People traded out some plants, and they're learning how to. The younger ones are learning how to can from some older people. That's exciting. Pleasant Grove Baptist Church is having a community-wide yard sale Saturday, May 15th. Along with the yard sale items, there will be breakfast biscuits, coffee, and a bake sale. So come on out and get your breakfast, and also enjoy some good yard selling. You know, I love to go yard selling. I don't always buy a lot, but I like to go.
Yeah, look around. That's fun.
And then White House Community Club is Saturday, May 27th. May 22nd from 7 to 10. They're having a buffet breakfast. Adults are $6. Children's are 6 to 12 is $3, and under 5 is free. They will have pancakes, eggs, grits, gravy, sausage, liver mush, fried potatoes, homemade applesauce, coffee, and orange juice. And it's all buffet, so you can eat all you want. 47 degrees this morning. I didn't mention that. And Shingle Hollow Fire Department didn't have any calls in the past 24 hours. But Green Hill had a medical call. They assisted getting a patient into the ambulance. And they had a fire alarm call. And birthdays, Piney Knob has Rita Connor. I hope she has a great big birthday today, and it's wonderful. And there's no other birthdays on the other church's calendars for today. That's it that I know of.
All right, so you can go about your business now. You've talked to the world this morning with your report, so you got have some fun things to do now. Or do you have fun talking on the radio?
Both.
Yeah.
I enjoy life, that's for sure.
Well, that's a great way to live.
I just thank God every day that I'm here and get to enjoy the things that He's blessed me with.
That's a way to approach every day.
Are you going to picnic this weekend? I heard you say it's good picnic weather.
It's good picnic weather. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to do some honeydew stuff. My wife's got a baby shower to attend sometime Saturday, so that's going to leave me there to take care of the honeydew list Saturday. So I don't guess I get to picnic Saturday.
Well,
and have to go to church Sunday. So
you can take a break on Saturday while she's gone to the baby shower and just have a sandwich out in the yard.
If I had a real big fresh garden grown tomato, I'd eat a tomato sandwich with a Vidalia onion on top of it.
Yes, I got my Vidalia onions, and I even cooked with them last night. But you know, those onions are so good.
They are good. They are good. I love them. All right.
I
Well,
do too, and I got
go ahead.
Strawberries. You know, strawberries are in, so if people love strawberries, now's the time to get them and put them up for the winter, or make you strawberry bread. Or I did something new with strawberry dehydration. I'm making like homemade fruit. What is it called? Dry fruit. Yeah. So I think that's going to turn out well too.
Yeah, I bet that will be good.
Everybody have a great.
Where'd you get your
Where'd
strawberries?
I get? Well, I got them on. It's in Cleveland County. My future sister-in-law's sister has a huge farm, and they harvest them. But I don't think they have a name for their farm. But they sell to big companies.
Yeah. I like fresh strawberries when they're sweet. I don't like them when they got a sour taste to them.
Well, these were very sweet. So if anybody's down on 18 and they see a fruit stand farm, fruit stand with strawberries, they're smaller, so they're sweeter, more concentrated. I think they were the best strawberries I've had.
Well, I'll see if I can find it. You have a great weekend. Enjoy those strawberries, and I'll see you.
Okay, have a great weekend. Stay safe.
Bye. That's Tina White reporting out of Shingle Hollow this morning. It's 35 minutes after 7, and I mentioned it is going to get hot here pretty soon. May is called May because it may be hot and it may be cool, but it's going to get hot. If your air conditioner is not sure about, you're not sure about it, needs reservicing, listen up to this message. When you hear someone say, I have finally found a heating and air conditioning company I can depend on, and you say, who? And they say, Immaculate Heating and Air Conditioning. So then you find out more and you learn Immaculate will do a spring checkup special on your air conditioner for only $49.99. Hot weather coming soon, and you want to be ready for it with a hassle-free air conditioner. Get it inspected during the spring checkup for the special price of $49.99. You can book online at www.immaculateheatingandair. That's immaculateheatingandair.com. Just click the green book online button at the top of the page or call 755-8150. By the way, this $49.99 spring special is for a limited time.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as the spring and summer colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
7:37, and we have 48 degrees here in Rutherfordton. Let's check it up at Union Mills and talk with Brenda Cowley, see what's happening. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning, Jim. How are you on this fantastic Friday morning?
I feel fantastic.
I'm glad. You sound like it. You sound like you're just on top of the world.
I am. I just hope I don't fall off.
Well, I hope you don't either.
Hey, did you ever play any golf?
No.
Never played any golf?
No, that's not my cup of tea.
Yeah?
No. Now, a little bit of basketball I've played, but it's been a long time ago.
What about putt-putt, carpet golf? Did you play any of that?
No.
Didn't do that either?
No. It just don't interest me, but that's fine.
You ever go roller skating?
I know somebody that does like to play golf, and that's Reverend Ernie Cole.
Does he? Is he any good at it?
Yeah, he loves to play golf.
Is he any good at it?
Well, now, I don't know. I've never been where he plays golf. I don't know if he's good at. I don't know nothing at all about golf. I had or I've got a friend that likes to play golf, but she's not able to now because she has Parkinson and she can't do a lot of things she used to do. But she loved golf, and I said, "What in the world do you see in golf?"
Oh, that's a fun sport. It's fun.
But
it's frustrating, but it's fun.
Maybe it's because I've never been around it, and I don't understand it, and I know nothing about it. So I guess that's why I don't like it.
You probably would enjoy it because most golf courses are really well coiffured, and the beauty of them. You'll see the green grass, the flowers. You'd enjoy the visit around a 19-hole or 18-hole golf course if you didn't even play, because most of them are really well kept and beautiful.
I have always noticed that about golf courses. They are pretty. They are. Mm-hmm. So, but I know you like golf, don't you?
I do. I don't get to play often, but I do love it.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, let's see. I've got 40 degrees on the front porch this morning. I don't have any birthdays or any anniversaries. In ways of announcements, we got a community yard sale Saturday, May the 15th from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is at 130 Pleasant Grove Road, Ruffin. That's at the corner of Cove Road and Pleasant Grove Road. Biscuits available for breakfast, hot dogs available for lunch, and proceeds go for kids' summer camp. And then we got a yard sale Saturday the 15th, Dyersfield Clubhouse in McDowell County, 8 a.m. until 1. and proceeds go for Relay for Life. And so far, that's all I got going on that I know of.
You know, one of the things that's sweeping the nation right now in terms of golf is this disc golf. That's like a frisbee, almost like a frisbee, and they have baskets lined up around the course, and you fling the frisbee and see if you can put it in the basket.
That's sort of like what's that game, cornhole or something? You throw something in there, a beanbag. I think can that
try to get it in the hole on the other end.
Yeah.
I've never done the disc golfing, but I understand it's quite a hot item right now.
Well, that's good. Anything to get anybody out and about and get a little exercise and make a little bit of money, you're doing good.
Yeah, that's what Chamber of Commerce, the golf tournament's coming up here pretty soon, and my friend Clark Poole's going to be in the studio with me in a few minutes to talk a little bit more about that. So we hope to encourage folks to sign up to play golf. The game I'd really love to play is 2 slices of bread and some mayonnaise and a fresh tomato. I love that exercise.
So, where will that tournament be?
It's going to be at Cleghorn Golf Tournament.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh goodness! When we had our 25th anniversary of graduation, we had our party out of high school. We had our party at Cleghorn.
Oh yeah.
I ain't been one since.
In that white house there, one side of the.
Yeah. I hadn't been to one since. I didn't like some of the stuff that was going on, so I didn't go back.
You didn't go back?
No, I've not been to one since. Now, the women get together a lot, and I've been to that, but with COVID and everything, we've not had it. But praise the Lord, I'm fully covered with the vaccination. I don't have to wear a mask.
All right, Brenda.
Hey, I'm happy.
I'm talking without my mask on this morning.
I know. That's good.
Because I have been for some while.
We don't have to wear it outside or inside, so that's good.
Yeah. And I understand you can even sit closer together now.
Oh, yeah. Well,
it's opening up now. It's opening up.
Yes, it's opening up, and I'm glad. Yeah, people can get back to a normal life. If we can get the gas flowing.
Yeah, that'll be coming here in a few days too.
I said it's a shame that Farmer's Friend hadn't got a gas tank. We can go up there and get gas like we did when there wasn't no toilet paper and they had it.
I know it. Yeah, it's a wonder he hadn't thought about that. Well, listen, you have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here next time.
Okay, catch you later.
Bye, Brenda. Brenda Kelly reporting out of Union Mills, and the Ellenboro reporter is up next, if he's available.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Come take advantage of the springtime sales event and get the automobile you've been wanting. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. Ladies and gentlemen, don't pay the ransom. He has escaped, and he's back with us on the radio from Ellenboro. Mr. Luther Gilligan, Ellenboro, where you live and do without the things you have to have. Good morning, Luther Gilligan.
Good morning. Now, did I see on the news where the pipeline paid a ransom to get back online?
They did.
That's what I thought I heard.
$5 million.
We don't know. How much?
$5 million.
Oh. Well, now, what's keeping them from doing that again?
That's right.
You pay one time, they hold a hand out for another time.
Well, that was successful. Let's do that again sometime. Or somebody else comes along and says, they got paid good. Let's do it.
And so I think I heard somewhere where an 8-year-old could have blocked it.
I don't understand all that deal.
I don't know. I think they need to have better cybersecurity there.
I think so too.
Of course, we all need better. Even the government needs better cybersecurity.
Indeed. Indeed.
Keep getting hacked by China and Russia and everybody else. I'm not going to hack it.
I'm not
I
going to
can't
hack
get
it.
the computer turned on.
I hear you. I'm just about.
Well, we're having a good time now. Do what?
I'm with you there. If I didn't have Todd to straighten me out once in a while with my computer, I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah. You take the computer go down and get caught up. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Now, my wife worked at Ruff Electric. When they first went on the computers, they said, we'll get the work done quicker. She said, stayed there 40 years and never did get caught up. Just keep finding more things to do.
That's right.
And I guess that's what they're made that way. Come a long way since the first computer we had in this country. And the government had one, took up a whole block in Washington.
That's right.
And now I got up more than that on a pinhead.
Now you can hold them in your hand now.
Yeah. Oh, computers. Do everything. But we're having a good time there today. There's nothing going. It's Friday. Everybody's trying to get to work, get this last day over. Looking forward to the weekend. It's supposed to be nice and sunny tomorrow, so everybody can get out and enjoy the day. Won't be too hot. We're supposed to be about 75 tomorrow, I believe. That'd be good. But Parkman only had one call, had one accident report out on New House Road. But they finally found out it was across the county line down there. They finally called them back, said it was in Cleveland County. But that becomes Stagecoach Road then, not New House Road. But that's all they had yesterday and last night. They got to sleep last night, so that was good for the ones that had to work. There's nothing else going on, Jim. You have a great day up there. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Luther. Have a good one. So long
Take
now.
care now.
Bye-bye. Birthday time and anniversary time for this 14th day of May, May 14th. Call us and tell us who's celebrating, and we'll celebrate with you, give you a big shout-out on the Birthday Club. 287-3356. Birthdays and anniversaries coming up next.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
If you want your clothes looking good, freshly pressed and cleaned and smelling good and looking good, take them by Folks Cleaners and drop them off. They have a drive-up door there. You can just drop them in, hand them to someone in the window. You don't have to get out of your car. And they open Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and early Saturday mornings. So get them done good. Look fresh and look good with newly cleaned and pressed clothes, courtesy of Folk Cleaners. They have a senior discount over there, too.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today. While they're fresh, they're good, they're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Granny B's open 9 a.m. until about 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. And be sure to ask for their pizza now. They're serving pizzas. Great pizzas, I understand. I have not yet had one. I'm going to have one, though, pretty soon. And they're really delicious, like the pizzas used to be made. Granny's Pizza. Try one.
Happy birthday.
Well, we want to wish happy birthday out to Kathy Scruggs. Kathy Scruggs lives in Rutherfordton. That's a birthday tomorrow, but we want to celebrate with her today. Kathy Scruggs, have an early birthday today and celebrate again tomorrow. Coming up, Keys to Confident Living. We'll take you down memory lane with classic oldie, and then a little after 8 o'clock, have a special guest in to talk with us just briefly. Matter of fact, we have two special guests coming in, one back to back, and we'll have a busy 30 minutes coming up next, so don't you miss a thing.
Americans are living longer today. Life expectancy has risen 20 years in the last 50 years. It is important to remember as we grow older that we never get too old to learn or serve. Grandma Moses was 76 when she started to paint. Cato at 80 began the study of Greek. Ronald Reagan was 69 when he began to serve as President of the United States and served until he was 77. Winston Churchill served Great Britain well at 77 during the war years. The Old Testament promises were given to experienced men. Abraham was already old when God promised him his seed would be as the stars of the heavens or the grains of sand on the shore. His wife Sarah was beyond the childbearing years, but they had a son as God promised, from whose line came Jesus. Moses was 120 years old when he died. He had served his God while guiding the people of Israel in their wanderings and trials. Job asks, "Is not wisdom found among the aged? Does not long life bring understanding?" God does not always promise good health for the aged, but he does promise strength. The Bible says, "Your strength will be equal to your days." The prophet said, "Even to your old age and gray hairs, I am he. I am he who will sustain you." What better old age security do you seek than God's strength and sustenance? This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
When you want your ad dollars to reach the masses, call the sales team at WCAB. Call Tracy or Jim, 828-287-3356, 100.9 FM and 590 AM.
WCAB.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Large companies are reacting to the CDC's announcement Thursday that face masks are no longer necessary in most cases for fully vaccinated people. CVS tells ABC News it's reviewing its policies. Kroger says it's still requiring masks. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky tells ABC.
This was a first step in our guidance, and what we really need to do now is look at each of our individual guidance for each of these individual settings and say, in a setting of schools or child care centers or the workplace, is this the appropriate thing to do given all other parameters?
And the head of one of the country's largest teachers union, the American Federation of Teachers, President Randy Weingarten, says schools should be ready to go this fall.
We can and we must reopen schools in the fall for in-person teaching, learning, and support. And we must keep them open fully and safely 5 days a week.
President Biden hailed the announcement Thursday from the White House Rose Garden, crediting the American people.
The American people have never, ever, ever, ever let their country down.
Earlier, he met with a group of Republican senators for talks on infrastructure. The White House wants to spend about $4 trillion. Republicans have called for a much smaller amount. President citing the cyber attack on the Colonial Pipeline as an example of why action is needed.
This event is providing an urgent reminder of why we need to harden our infrastructure and make it more resilient against all threats, natural and man-made.
The pipeline's flowing again, but it could be a few days before normal gasoline supply is restored. ABC News has learned operator Colonial Pipeline paid a ransom in the low millions of dollars to a criminal hacking gang. Israeli airstrikes continued in Gaza. The Israeli military says it's targeting tunnels used by militants. Palestinian officials say 119 Palestinians have been killed. You're listening to ABC News.
I'm former U.S. counterterrorism officer Drew Berquist. In a one-party controlled country whose policies continue to move further to the left, it's hard to find a group willing to stand up for the right. That's why we created Mammoth Nation. We're standing strong for all Americans. Mammoth Nation is America's conservative discount club. As a member, you get great discounts, massive savings on travel, shopping, wireless, sporting goods, even prescriptions. Membership supports conservative businesses and the causes that you care about, like the Wounded Blue. For every total wellness plan purchased, Mammoth Nation will donate a plan to a police officer in need. This provides critical support to our law enforcement community. It's just one of the things that makes Mammoth Nation so great. And it's so affordable. If you join now, you get a 30% discount on an annual membership. Normally $29, this month just $19. It can pay for itself with just one purchase, so go to mammothnation.com and become a lifetime member today.
A former Army Green Beret is expected to be sentenced today after admitting he gave Russia military secrets for 15 years. Peter Debbins pleaded guilty last fall to espionage. Prosecutors have asked for a 17-year prison sentence. Texas Governor Greg Abbott signaled he's ready to sign new restrictions on abortion passed by state lawmakers. The bill bans any abortion if a fetal heartbeat can be detected and allows for virtually any private citizen to sue an abortion provider. Health experts in Great Britain say they're tracking a COVID-19 variant from India.
There are still low numbers here found in small pockets of the UK, but by the official figures, cases have doubled in the past week. Britain's vaccine minister, Nadeem Zahawi.
This new variant doesn't seem to, at the moment, we have no evidence that it escapes the vaccines or is more severe in its impact on people.
Surge testing is being rolled out in affected areas. Despite developments, the next phase of lockdown easing is still going ahead as planned next week. Tom Rivers, ABC News, London.
An online petition in Japan calling for the upcoming Tokyo Olympics to be canceled has been given to Olympic organizers after garnering more than 350,000 signatures in a matter of days. People signing say they're worried about the coronavirus in a country where just 2% of the population has been fully vaccinated. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly. Don't miss out on Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. If your car could use a spring cleaning, stop by for great deals on everything you need to keep your car looking new. Like Mother's California Gold Wash and Wax, just $4.99 for a 64-ounce bottle. That's a $6 savings. Visit the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts today or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
Hello everyone and happy Friday. We will see a milder afternoon today and pleasant for outdoor plans with highs in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s. Could see a few showers though develop later this afternoon and early this evening, though it looks like many areas will stay dry. We're dry for Saturday. We'll see a mostly sunny to partly cloudy afternoon with highs back in the low to mid 70s. So Saturday will be beautiful for outdoor plans. Could see a few more showers in the forecast Sunday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
And currently we have 50 degrees here under this Friday morning scope. Looking good for the weekend. All sunny skies and no rain until Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday. And it goes away Wednesday night, and the weekend looks good again for the weekend. Again, let's enjoy the weekend. For 8 minutes, I'll make it 5 minutes after 8 o'clock here this morning. And have special guest in the studio with me. And you recognize one of them, Mr. Clark Poole. Mr. Clark Poole from the Chamber of Commerce, and he's here this morning to talk about something dear to the hearts of many of you and get a little update on that. Mr. Poole, good morning, welcome.
Good morning, how you, Jim?
I'm doing great. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing better than I deserve, as they say.
Good. Let me slide over here a little closer so I can talk to you as well.
Sure.
We've been talking a lot about the golf tournament, the Chamber of Commerce sponsored golf tournament. Give us an update on it and when that's going to be, and encourage folks to come participate in that.
Well, it's going to be a week from today, next Friday at Cleghorn Golf Club. The course is in great shape. The course is in better shape than some of us who are going to be trying to play. We're going to hit some long ones and some short ones and some crooked ones and some straight ones. But the main thing we're going to do is we're going to come together for the first time in over a year and have some fellowship. Our business leaders, our golf buddies, and people from around and surrounding areas are going to come together and get in the carts and try not to tell many stories or fibs about how well they did. It's kind of like fishing, you know. The fish get smaller as more people come around, but great response. I think people are very tired of being in and trapped, and we're a social society. We like to see each other. We were trained all our lives. Our parents told us to, when you met somebody, look them in the eye and shake their hand, and not being able to shake hands or hug somebody or just sit down close and talk to them has been tough. So we're excited about more than just the golf tournament. It's a time for us to come together and celebrate the kinds of things that the Chamber has done with the interactivity of business community. So
Chamber of Commerce has always been successful in sponsoring an event like the golf tournament, and folks participate because they know it's going to be run well and organized well, and there's money to be won.
Yeah, there is, as a matter of fact. Well, the reason I didn't mention the money is I never have been good enough to be a part. In fact, I've been on your team, and I've brought you down so many times. And
let's don't go there.
Because we've always been we've been last every year.
That's right.
And that's great, isn't it? But first place is $500 cash, and then there's $250, and then there's $100 for third place. And what a country.
Being last all the time is not that big because we were supporting a good cause.
We were.
The Chamber. The Chamber does so much for the community and helping a lot of small businesses as well as large businesses. And if we get behind the Chamber, any activity they do, then we're doing some good things.
Well, I appreciate that kind of flattery for us. The Chamber of Commerce is a group of individuals who really, really care about the future of this county and the presence of this county. And without the small businesses, the large businesses, and the caring citizens, the Chamber couldn't do its work. The Chamber doesn't have many answers, but we know how to find them. So you ask us a question, and our staff will make sure that we find out an answer to it that will be satisfactory to you.
Well, one good thing, the positive thing that came out of the COVID year, the Chamber was always there for folks who were suffering during that time and having difficulty keeping employees, keeping their doors open. But Chamber was always there to encourage and help whatever help needed to be done. You were there.
Well, we were able to stay open. Thank the good Lord that we were able to stay open, and we did work remotely, but our office was always open, and we took turns at that. And yes, there were many questions and a lot of times of anxiety. But it was remarkable during this whole year, as horrible as it was, with the tragedy of the deaths, with the anxiety levels of people and their families. And I have twins, adults, that I haven't seen in a year except for FaceTime. And you know I have a hard time with FaceTime. But what I wanted to say was, it was a time that we were dependent on each other. And out of that dependency with each other, there was a strength and a bond that small business owners were saying, I'm going to make it. Now one of my concerns, even though I'm excited about the golf tournament, is everywhere I looked, it's now hiring, help wanted. I think some of us folks who are of retirement age maybe ought to come out of retirement and show them how to work.
You know, I thought about that. Some of these places, recruiting seniors who have retired.
Yeah.
Take some of these jobs would be great because you know they're going to be on time. They're going to be there every day.
As hard as it is for businesses today to hire somebody. Do I have 2 more minutes if I'll talk real quickly?
Yes.
What used to be the shack can't even have lunch now because they can't find enough people to work. 25 people apply. They look at 7. They hire 3 and they don't show.
Yeah.
Somebody gets a job. Then they call and say, I'm sorry, I can't come in Monday. I have to wait till June. Why? Well, my employment doesn't run out until June. Self-respect and pride in who you are goes a long way. And I think we often, and I'm not being ugly, my grandma said you get more done with honey than you do vinegar, but this is probably a little bit of vinegar. Let's take down those now hiring signs because the success of our county is not contingent upon Raleigh, Washington. It's contingent upon us. And if we'll just take the bull by the horns, come out of our retirement if that's where we are, or get off the couch and say, yeah, I'll work. Maybe I can't work 40 hours a week, but I'll work.
Yeah, and you touched on something in addition to being able to have your own money that you earned right, but that building that self-esteem that I'm accomplishing something and I'm not just sitting on the couch waiting for my next check to come in the mail. If we can get out and do it, let's get out and do it. Get her done, as they say.
Get her done. Do you know what my daddy would have done if I'd have been sitting on the couch and said, no, I don't believe I want to go to work today?
Probably.
Good gracious. Oh, my goodness. Because it was important to be somebody.
Yes.
I may not have a whole lot of money, and certainly, as you're well aware, I'm not real good looking. But I respect myself in order to be able to respect others.
That's important.
But we're going to have a great time at the golf tournament, and we're going to have a very successful year in Rutherford County because the people of Rutherford County are somebody's.
Yes. What's the best way for folks to sign up for the golf tournament?
You can go to our website. You can call us at 287-3090 from 10 till 3. You can call WCAB and give your name and number, and they'll get that number to us, and we'll call you.
Absolutely.
Deadline's going to be Monday.
Okay.
All of our sponsors are filled. Our T-Box sponsors are still a little bit open. There are a few left for that. But
$150 for that, right?
$150 for a T-Box sponsor. For the first time in a year, you're going to have a massive gathering of business owners in this community and people of interest. And they're going to see your company and talk about your company and talk about you. In fact, if you're not there, we might talk about you in a different way. No, we're kidding. We hope those of you who can, will come out, and those of you who can't, we'll have one again. But I appreciate the opportunity to talk about the golf tournament. But more importantly than even that, Jim.
One quick question.
Sure, I know you got to go.
I got a beautiful lady waiting to come in here and talk to me.
Well, you do. You've been fussing at me about that too.
Update on Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A is hoping to be open by the latter part of September.
All right.
They subcontract to get the building torn down where they are, and of course there are always glitches in anything. Everybody knows that with construction, but it'll be starting soon.
Great.
And there are a lot of wonderful things getting ready to take place in Rutherford County, and the most wonderful thing in the world to take place in Rutherford County is we're back together again.
Yes, I like that. Thanks, Clark.
You're
Clark
welcome.
Poole,
Have a great weekend.
Chamber of Commerce.
All of you.
And I'll be back in just a moment with another guest here in the Blue Room.
What do the days of the week, the seas, and the colors in a rainbow have in common? Did you guess the number 7? There's no denying 7's power. It's elemental. Unlock that power with new 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery with over $160 million in total prizes. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.12 to 4.88. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Here is a wonderful opportunity to work at a job and help your neighbors at the same time. Rutherford County Habitat for Humanity is seeking an assistant manager for Restore 269. Applicants should be team-oriented, have excellent customer service, and a friendly and industrious personality. Does that fit you? Some physical labor, including lifting, is required on this job. Retail management experience will be helpful. If you'd like this kind of job, send your resume to RCHFH, Post Office Box 1534, Rutherfordton 28139. No phone calls, please. Rutherford County Habitat for Humanity is seeking a Restore associate. Excellent customer service skills are a must. Applicants must work well with others and have a friendly and industrious personality. Must be able to lift 75 pounds. Assist customers with merchandise, answer phone, and greet customers. Other duties include loading and unloading Restore donations and assisting with overall store cleanliness. Applications are available at the Habitat Restore at 688 West Main Street, Forest City. No phone calls, please. Now in the studio with me right now is Faye Bishop, the director of the Small Business Center at Isothermal Community College, and it's a great time to talk about that, and she's with me right now. Good morning, Faye.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
You look a whole lot better than Clark Poole does.
Oh, well, what can I say? All in the eyes of the beholder.
Reboot 2021 seminar series that you're conducting over there in the Small Business Center. Tell our audience a little bit about that.
Well, we've had the opportunity. It's sponsored by the SBTDC and some other people, but what we're trying to do is let the small businesses in the county get some information concerning where we go from here, because hopefully we're moving through COVID, and once we do, things are going to have changed. The normal way of doing things is going to be different, so we're thinking about the new normal. What do we do to prepare for that? In the event that something would happen again like this, what can we do? So what we're doing is having this done for our counties, for Rutherford and Polk County, to help people understand how we can move forward and how we can progress, but it's going to come back to some things that we need to be aware of. And so we're just trying to get that message out and to let them know about that. And I think it would be helpful to all, because we're looking at financing, we're looking at the operation side, and we're also looking at social media with some new ideas even on how to expand that to get more people to look and see what you're doing. So we're just trying to be creative in getting the help to the people.
Some of the seminars sound like you've got set up for coming up real soon. The next one is going to be when, Monday?
Actually Monday, and it's Monday morning. So those of you out there who are business owners and or potential, and that means you, because everybody's a potential business owner, we're going to start early, because we felt like that way if a business doesn't open until 10 o'clock, they could come, still get to their business and open on time. So at 7:45, we will have a light breakfast of coffee and a muffin. Our meeting will last 1 hour, be out by 9 o'clock, and we hope it will be effective, and we just encourage people to come on out and learn not only about how their business needs to maybe change or what they can do, but also think about the opportunities here and what's coming up through the county that's going to be a benefit to them.
I hear people all the time saying, I wish I had new ideas for my business. I wish I could do this or that or the other for my business. I just don't know how to get started. It seems to me like the Small Business Center is the answer to some of those questions through these seminars.
Well, I think it is, because we try to get the interest that people have expressed. We have given them an opportunity to tell us what they would like to have a seminar about. And we try to bring those people in who are, quote, experts in their field for that, to talk with them, to give them some ideas, and then the opportunity at the same time to network with other businesses, because a lot of times it might be that the businesses could work together and share some benefit from that side of it. So there's a lot of business out there today, because there's the mobile, and then there's a home-based, and then there's the ones online, and then there's the storefronts, and you can't know all the businesses. And a lot of times you can come and find people that you didn't know their business existed. And there's a lot that I don't know for sure. So it's always great for us to have the opportunity to promote these, and they're free. So it's not costing you anything except some time. And if your business is important to you, then hopefully you can find some time to donate to come to take those seminars.
Yeah, and the best way for them to get in touch with enrolling in one of these classes, it's not a long-time commitment, it's a one class. What's the best way to get in touch with somebody?
Well, they're free to free to call me. I mean, I've got, my phone comes directly into my office. It's 828-395-1667. That's a good way to do it. Also to go online to look at our North Carolina Small Business Center network, which is just NCSBC. You look up Isothermal, they're listed on there. Tells you what's going on and also tells you how to register for those.
And Monday night class, our Monday morning's class is about
Financing.
7:45.
7:45, and just a quick note on that. This time, instead of getting somebody from out of the county, we're talking about what's happened in the county through COVID, and it's still happening, and we got the best person we know who is up to date on all that, who is constantly working, not only with the businesses that are here, but working to bring in new business, working for solutions to the problems that we have. So we've got Clark Poole, the director of the chamber, to speak with us on Monday concerning this, and we're just real excited about that.
It'll be a good one. Wish we had more time to talk more about this, because it's one of the great things in Rutherford County through the Isothermal College is a small business center. But will you come back and see us again sometime?
I'd be happy to.
I hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you.
I'll be back in just a moment.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City is taking appointment times for the COVID-19 vaccination. There are two ways to schedule an appointment. First, go to our website at www.smithsdrugsfc.com and click on the COVID-19 vaccination tab. Then fill out the consent form, choose your group, and at that time you'll be able to choose an available appointment time. Second, you can just call our pharmacy to schedule an appointment time, and we can help you fill out the consent form over the phone. We also at times do have some vaccines available later in the evening, and these are posted on Facebook when we do. If you have any questions or concern, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
Sciatica nerve pain has been a mystery for years. Sufferers have tried chiropractors, shots, and exercise with little relief. After suffering with sciatica nerve pain for 30 years, I tried CBD salve from Franny's Pharmacy. It worked. I couldn't believe the anti-inflammatory qualities the CBD salve has. I can now fall asleep with no pain. If you need some relief, go to the website www.sciaticaaid.com. That's www.sciaticaaid.com, or call 828-980-8461. That's 828-980-8461.
Do you need some extra money in your pocket? Try Insurance Service Associates, your local independent agent. We can shop your auto and home insurance with several companies to get you better coverage and the best rate. Insurance Service Associates at 127 East Trade Street in Forest City for auto, home, or commercial insurance. More choices, better coverage, best rate. That's Insurance Service Associates, 245-5301.
Our Sheriff's Report this morning was given to us by Deputy Butron with the Sheriff's Department, and we recorded it for broadcast at this time. Folks, have a wonderful weekend.
In the past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office had responded to 135 calls for service. The jails processed 10 arrests, and there's currently 166 detained in the county jail. For incident reports, William Galligan reported a misdemeanor larceny and damage to property. He has some solar panels stolen in that incident. For arrest reports, Joshua Adam Price was served with an order for arrest for failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Bruce Wayne Givens Jr. was served with an order for arrest for failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Marcus O'Neill Hill was served with a warrant for assault on a female, assault with a deadly weapon, and communicating threats. And Davis Lee Vickers was charged with possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. And that's all we've got.
Braves baseball this evening. The first pitch is at 8:10. We'll start the pregame at 6:55, following our News 6 with Channel 13 News and the racing report and things of that nature. And then we'll join the Braves for their first pitch. For the pregame at 6:55, the first pitch is 8:10 as they take on Milwaukee Brewers for a series. Now, they have not done very well against the Phillies, or rather the Blue Jays, in the past few weeks, but maybe they've got the mojo back for the weekend. Folks, enjoy the beauty of the weekend, enjoy yourself, and stay safe. And don't hoard all the gas. Let somebody else have a little bit, okay? Bye for now.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. The LA Clippers handed the slumping Hornets their fourth loss in their last 5 games, 113-90. The final last night in Charlotte's final home game at Spectrum Center this regular season. Head coach James Borrego was asked how he felt about hanging in with the Clippers last night, as well as the Nuggets on Tuesday, the number 3 and 4 teams in the Western Conference.
Well, I'm encouraged that we're hanging with these groups. At Denver, it was not so good. At LA, it was not so good. We've come a long way. But against good teams, you got to be perfect down the stretch. In the fourth quarters, you better bring your best. And you got to make shots, and you got to hope and do your best defensively to prevent them from scoring. And obviously, that didn't go our direction there in the fourth quarter. But we put ourselves in position. We just could not close it out. But it's great experience for our guys. We're going to need that again on Saturday.
Despite last night's loss and the struggle down the stretch, 4 of the last 5 in the L column, the Hornets remain tied with the Indiana Pacers for 8th in the Eastern Conference, and they own the head-to-head tiebreaker with Indiana. The Hornets, meanwhile, wrapped the regular season with a pair of matinee road games starting tomorrow against the Knicks in New York and then Sunday versus the Wizards. The NHL revealed on Thursday the Carolina Hurricanes will open the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs against the Nashville Predators Monday at PNC Arena in Raleigh. Game 2 will be on Wednesday. This is Carolina's 3rd consecutive season that they've reached the postseason, which is the first time that's happened since the franchise relocated from Hartford. With each year, the team's improved and has gone from Hunter to now as the number 3 team overall in the league, the Hunted. But for head coach Rod Brindamore, his plan is to continue being the Hunter or Predator versus the Predators.
I feel like everybody's hunting each other, and that's our mentality. I mean, that's the way we have to play anyway. I think you're kind of referring to as if we would be the hunted, but I think it's the other way around. Like when we're doing what we do, that's how we play. So hopefully that's the mentality we take.
This is NCN Sports.
If the power goes out for your business, are you prepared with a backup? Without electricity, security systems go down, refrigerated items spoil, and customers are turned away. In other words, your business loses money. Control your power. Control your business with a Generac automatic standby generator. Alternative Power is North Carolina's Generac generator experts. In fact, all Alternative Power does is provide backup power. Financing options are available. See more at alternativepower.com.
For more than 30 years, the NC Rural Center has been working to secure a more vibrant future for our state's rural people and places. We operate in North Carolina's 80 rural counties with a special focus on individuals with low to moderate incomes and communities with limited resources. Whether it's through advocacy, small business lending, leadership training, or community development initiatives, the NC Rural Center works to build a brighter future for all. To learn more about our programs, visit ncruralcenter.org. NC Rural Center, building vibrant rural communities.
An 8th member of the New York Yankees has tested positive for COVID-19 despite being fully vaccinated.
It could be some time before Yankee fans hear broadcaster John Sterling say this again. It is Glaber Day. That's because shortstop Gleyber Torres has become the 8th Yankee to test positive for the virus in a so-called breakthrough case. Called that because he, 3 coaches, and 4 traveling staff members tested positive after being fully vaccinated. All 8 have been quarantined in Tampa. The Yanks are wrapping up a series against the Rays in Florida tonight. The Yankees say team members are being tested again, and contact tracing is in progress. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
The Green Bay Packers have signed Blake Bortles as they attempt to add quarterback depth while MVP Aaron Rodgers' future with the team is uncertain. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. We will see a milder afternoon today and pleasant for outdoor plans with highs in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s. Could see a few showers, though, develop later this afternoon and early this evening, though it looks like many areas will stay dry. We're dry for Saturday. We'll see a mostly sunny to partly cloudy afternoon with highs back in the low to mid 70s. So Saturday will be beautiful for outdoor plans. Could see a few more showers in the forecast Sunday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
It's only 51 degrees. Beautiful day in the neighborhood for the weekend. Let's go out and enjoy as much of it as we possibly can. You're listening to WCAB 100.9 FM, 590 AM. WCAB serving the foothills of the Carolinas. It's time now for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program. And with the program this morning is Madison and Brianna Finner.
Good morning. I'm Madison Finner here with my wife, Brianna Finner, and we're happy to be back with you guys again. It was a pleasure to come our last time, but it just seemed like 30 minutes wasn't enough, so we wanted to come back and share with you guys a little more. So today, to kind of sum up what we're going to share is, last time we shared about having your purpose and your walk with God, and don't let other people tell you what you can and can't do, but you have a call of God on your life alone, and you yourself are going to have to feel that on your own. So today we want to talk about knowing Christ on a personal level. And definitely by no means are my wife and I there to any perfection, but we are definitely crying out and striving every day to get there. So to give you a scripture to start it off, it's in Psalms 40. It says, "You have given me the capacity to hear and obey. Your law a more valuable service than burnt offerings and sin offerings, which you do not require." And, it all boils down to we have got to hear God's voice and obey. It doesn't matter what anybody says, what your parents say, anybody. You've got to hear God's voice. And, we started thinking as we were studying this that, yes, we go to church a lot. We've been taught a lot of spiritual things, and we're thankful for that. But a lot of people don't get this every day like we do. And, most people think that God and Jesus are some far away thing, and you can't really have a relationship with them. They don't really exist. It's just some kind of superpower up there above. But, we've come to figure out, and it's just been amazing to see how much you can have a relationship with God throughout your day. And when you do that during your day, how much peace and how much life you have and how much more satisfied you are in your life. And so that's what we really wanted to come to share today. So another scripture in Romans 6, in verse 4, says, "We have therefore been buried with him through baptism into death, so that just as Christ was raised from the dead through the glory and power of the Father, we too might walk habitually in newness of life, abandoning our old ways." And this is really where we started our study. And my wife was actually the one that started this and kind of just, she brought me into it, and I'm grateful she did. We're learning to daily die to ourselves, die to our sin, and die to our old ways, because that's the only way we will be able to hear God's voice. Only those with a pure heart, with a pure mind, pure thoughts, that's the only way you're going to hear God's voice is if you're clean and you have a clear mind. And that's the only way you're going to get to it, is daily dying to ourselves and dying to our sin. And that's just what we're striving for every day. And I think my wife has some more she wants to share on this, but I'm going to let her go. But that's just really what is going to sum up this message this morning, is we've got to die to ourselves daily.
Good morning, everyone. I believe this topic really started for us. I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and a lot has changed for us in the past year, couple years, and I know a lot, changes for the whole world and everything with the pandemic, everything going on. There's been people losing their jobs, all different kinds of things in life circumstances. And, we can get caught up in the busyness of all of that. And like for me, this was a conversation we were talking about things with work. And, there's a lot of changes going on, and we've got to make plans, and we've got to undo some things we've been doing and do them another way to do them better. And I've been really seeking God on how, in the midst of all these changes, do we not become overwhelmed or frustrated or, lose our focus through all of that. And, my friend was telling me, and we were talking about it, and they said, well, every answer to every aspect, every question in life is summed up in this verse, and I'll just read it. It's in Deuteronomy 28, and it says, if you will listen diligently to the voice of the Lord your God, being watchful to do all his commandments, which I command you this day, the Lord your God will set you high above all the nations of the earth, and all these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you. And, I began to really think about that. How many times throughout the day am I not diligent, whether it's diligent to hear God's voice or diligent just to finish the task at hand, whether, say at work you receive a phone call and then someone else comes and distracts you and you lose your train of thought, and we're not diligent, we're not steady, we're not steadfast. And when we're not that way in our personal life, it goes over into our spiritual life. And these things keep us from really being able to hear God's voice, to be led and guided by him. And I know for myself, I've realized that I overcomplicate things. If, maybe we're trying to seek God about a particular situation, and it's just really hard to hear, or you're frustrated, or you don't know what to do. And maybe I could do this, or maybe it'll work out this way, when the answer's right there if we'll just stop and listen. And, that's one thing God doesn't want us to do as Christians. He wants us to focus. All throughout his word, it's a diligent. We see that word, if you will listen diligently, so many times throughout the Bible. And if we'll be wholehearted and we'll just be complete in everything we do every single day, then, in our spiritual walk, it'll be much easier for us to, continue that. And I think Maddie was also reading a passage, an example of two sisters in the Bible where Jesus was teaching the same principle to them.
So now I'm going to read a passage in Luke 10, it's verse 38. So the two sisters are Mary and Martha. It says, now while they were on their way, it occurred that Jesus entered a certain village, and a woman named Martha received and welcomed him into her house. And she had a sister named Mary, who seated herself at the Lord's feet and was listening to his teaching. And take that verse and remember that it says Mary seated herself at the Lord's feet. But the other sister Martha was overly occupied and too busy, was distracted with much serving, and she came up to him and said, Lord, is it nothing to you that my sister has left me to serve alone? Tell her then to help me, to lend a hand and do her part along with me. And we can read that last verse. It says where Martha was going to Jesus and said, can you not tell my sister to get up and do something and help me? I'm the one here being a servant and being a blessing to the people here. But Jesus replied, and he said, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things. And I stopped there and I realized that's me a lot of the time. I'm anxious, I'm troubled about a lot. And it kind of, back to what we talked about in the beginning about having the capacity to hear and obey, those things that we're anxious and troubled about cut us off from being able to hear God's voice. And kind of how I see it, God gave us all an inner conscience, and to be able to hear his voice, to feel that urge on the inside when you're doing something wrong, when you're going the wrong direction, that there's a place in your heart that God is constantly speaking. If you are somewhat submitted to him or submitted 100%, God's going to tell you when you're doing something wrong, when you're going the wrong way. And it says there is need of only one or but a few things. Mary has chosen the good portion, that which is to her advantage, which shall not be taken away from her. And go back to where Mary was seated at the Lord's feet and was listening to his teaching. And we are taught a lot, at church from our pastors. That's part of God's voice coming to us to teach us. And just like how she was sitting at Jesus' feet. And we can do that every day. When we wake up, we get out of bed, we can come to Jesus, and that's one thing we're working on. We don't always get up and consider Jesus. We don't always think about him during our day. And it's not a thing where you constantly have to keep in mind, am I thinking about Jesus? Am I thinking about Jesus? Because then it becomes a religious thing that you get nowhere in life. And so we've been reading these scriptures to help teach us, how to be calm, relaxed, but being able to submit your heart to Jesus, to listen to your conscience on the inside when Jesus is trying to say something, or when you may be going this direction in your car, but Jesus says, get off on this exit, and next thing you know, there's a big old wreck or something. It could be something like that. It's not just with your spiritual life. It's about every day with the natural things, anything.
And just like he's saying, that Jesus wants to be a personal teacher and a personal savior, and that's one thing I think we have realized through this study is that, he actually came down to the earth and experienced daily life as a human just how we do, but yet he was still in constant fellowship and constant communication with his Father. And if we're made in the image and the likeness of God, which it says that we are in Genesis, then we have that ability, and we have that same power within us to have a constant communication with the Father. And I begin to, back to the conversation we were having at work, I begin to see how many times I kind of just started taking note of how many times I get distracted throughout the day, whether it's distracted in my work or distracted when I'm, supposed to be doing one thing and then I don't finish it, and then you come back the next day and it's still hanging over your head. I'm sure many of you can relate to that. We're all so busy, whether it's doing the laundry or you forget to put a trash bag back in when you got to take the trash out, and then you have to do it later and it wastes your time. Well, all of those things, if we're inefficient in our daily walk, then we will be in our spiritual walk as well. And the service after this conversation, our pastor read in Jeremiah 33, and it says, "Call to me, and I will answer you, and I will show you great and mighty things that are confined and hidden, which you do not know or understand. I will cleanse you from all your wickedness, and Jerusalem," or God's people, "will be to him a name of joy, praise, and glory through all the nations of the earth, which will hear of all the good that I will do for you, all the peace, the prosperity, the security, and the stability that I will provide for you." And that's really the whole essence of what we're talking about here is call out to God, call to him. If there's things we don't understand, if there's answers that we need, all we have to do is call upon him, and he will provide that stability in our everyday life. And that's what I began to do, just on the way to work or driving, whatever I was doing. I started really asking God, just like I would talk to a person, and I started asking him, Lord, why do I get off track in my life? Why do I get distracted? Why do I get frustrated with certain things? Why in certain circumstances it's really hard for me to be able to make a decision, and other things it's easier? And he revealed to me, as I was asking him that, and there was a verse, that I read in John 12 about dying to yourself, and he showed me, in order to really be able to do the will of the Father, we have to be refined, and we have to allow God to make us new as Christians. Even after we receive Jesus, we have to constantly let those things in our lives die so that we can fulfill our life's purpose on a daily basis, because we still have that sin nature on the inside of us, when we're born, ever since the fall of man, and that's what dictates to us what to do until we actually receive Jesus and we begin to listen to his voice through it all. And I'll go ahead and read, in John 12, verse 23, it says, Jesus said, I tell you solemnly, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains just one grain. It never becomes more, but it lives by itself alone. But if it dies, it produces many others and yields a rich harvest. And that's the same in our life. If we never die, if our nature doesn't ever die, we can't ever be new. We can't ever live a new life for the glory of God. And it says, anyone who loves this life loses it. But anyone who hates his life in this world will keep his eternal life. If anyone serves me, he must continue to follow me. And what that means is to cleave steadfastly, conform wholly to my example in living and in dying. And wherever I am, my servant will be also. And if anyone serves me, my Father will honor him. And there's a reward. God didn't call us to live, a miserable life. God is just, and he didn't give us a task that we couldn't fulfill. He sent Jesus to show us that it is completely possible to live here as a human on this earth with all the temptations that we have. He went through them as well to show us that we could still make it to heaven and make it to be with him forever, even though we're human and we're not the same level as, God above. But it says, Jesus, when he was going to the cross, it says, my soul was troubled and distressed. And what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour of trial and agony. But no, it was for this very purpose that I have come to this hour, that I might undergo it. And he knows what we go through. He knew that life as a Christian, when we're first in that process of really giving our life to him, that it would be hard at times, that there would be a battle between our flesh and our spiritual being, and he said, no, I will rather say, Father, glorify and exalt your own name. And it says, at that time there came a voice out of heaven saying, I have already glorified it, and I will glorify it again. So every time we call out to God in these times of trouble and these times where we know there's something in our life that has got to die in order to become better, then the moment we cry out to God, he comes and he strengthens us in that moment, and he gives us the answer. The same account in Luke 22, verse 41 says, he told his disciples, pray that you may not enter into temptation. And there's 3 forms of temptation that Jesus was tempted with. It's the lust of the flesh, our cravings, our desires, the lust of the eyes, what we see, what appeals to our senses, and the pride of life, our selfish ambition, what we grow up wanting to do. And he was tempted with all 3 of those. And everything we face is just a variant of one of those. But yet it says, he said, pray that you may not enter into this temptation. And it said, withdrawing from them about a stone's throw, he knelt down and said, Father, if you're willing, remove this cup from me. And I know many of us face things in our life that we don't want to have to go through, or, something we really feel like we don't want to do. And if we'll just turn to God, just like Jesus did, it says, yet not my will, but always yours be done. And in order for us to find out, what God's will is for us, in order for us to hear in those times that we need an answer, we have to really give up our will and say, yours be done. And it says, immediately there appeared to him an angel from heaven, strengthening him in spirit. And then it says that he began, in Mark 13, it's the same account, but it says that Jesus began to be struck with terror and amazement, and he was deeply troubled and depressed. And he said, my soul is exceedingly sad and overwhelmed with grief, so it almost kills me. Remain here and be awake and watching. And he said, Abba, which means Father, everything is possible for you. Take this cup away from me. Yet not what I will, but what you will. And we can't even imagine what he was feeling at that time, the full force of temptation. Power of darkness was against him. It said that he was deeply troubled and depressed. And I know we can all relate to that. Sometimes there's sad things that happen. A loved one dies, or that depression, or, you're going through a rough time, or anything, but it says that Jesus experienced that for himself, and he knows what we're going through. So it doesn't matter what issue it is we face. It doesn't matter if there's something we feel like we've done that's so bad, or a bad habit that we know we can't change. Jesus is the answer, because he went through it. And, at that point, it's not the time to give up and just think there's no hope. If we can't make ourselves better, there's one who can, and we can't just quit because the journey's hard. We can't give in to that pressure. We have to go through that door, and we have to press on and experience that pain and die to that part of our life so that God can come and make it new again.
So, I wanted to kind of expound on what she's talking about, where there's many difficult things, we obviously all go through, and I'm sure many of you people out there do too. Kind of going back to where I was talking about Mary and Martha, about the part of being anxious and worried about many things. But God said there's only one or a few things. And, there's one verse, that really keeps, lodged in my heart, that, helps me to stay focused throughout my day. And I want to be more focused when it comes to this. It's in Luke 13, and it's verse 24. It says, "Strive to enter through the narrow door. Force aside unbelief and the attractions of sin. For many, I tell you, will try to enter by their own works and will not be able." And I've seen that to be me many a times, where I have strived to try to get to that door, but I've tried to take a different way. I try to do it my way, but that's not what's going to get us to heaven, and that's our big thing right now, I guess you could say, is we got to force those things aside that cause disbelief, where we don't trust in God, where we get distracted, where we get so busy, because I started seeing myself where I was getting so busy with the things that I wanted to do and I thought were the right thing to do, and many of them were, but I saw where I was busying myself doing all the right things in my eyes, but was I really doing it to please God? And I think that's the big key here, is we've got to live our lives pleasing to God. We got to live our lives striving to enter through the narrow door. And like she said, it's not going to be some easy thing for us. And that's what we're having to basically just live up to, is we're going to have to strive. We're going to have to force ourselves. We're going to have to drop all those unnecessary weights that boggle us down, that keep us from really coming to that walk with Jesus, just as Jesus demonstrated us on his walk here on earth. It's in Matthew 7:2, it says we can do many of the right things, but without doing them with God, it's all dead works. Just like Brianna was saying, that's why we have to know God for ourselves. We have to be pleasing to God. And, that's our heart's cry.
That's right. And in Hebrews 2, back to, how is this possible? How is it possible to live like Maddie is talking about? How do we strive to enter that narrow gate? And, Jesus made it possible by going through it, and we have to call upon him. It says in Hebrews 2:10 that he is a sympathetic high priest. He is our Savior. And it says, Jesus, who was made lower than the angels for a little while by taking on the limitations of humanity, he was crowned with glory and honor because of his suffering, so that by his grace extended to us, he might experience death for everyone. So we don't have to have pain when we're going through these things, when we're learning to surrender our lives to God. It doesn't have to be a painful experience, because Jesus already took that pain and that experience for us, and he just wants us to call to him and lean on him and allow him to do it through us. And it says he brought to full completion the human experience necessary for him to be perfectly equipped for his office as our advocate and as our intercessor before God the Father. And it says he shared our same physical nature, but without sin, so that through experiencing death he may make powerless, ineffective, him who had the power of death, who is the devil, and that he might free all those that who through the haunting fear of death were held in slavery throughout our whole lives. And, he is able, it says he made it powerless, the power of death, the power of sin in our life, the power of those bad habits, the power of all those desires that we feel like we can't get rid of. Jesus went and made it powerless by dying to himself so that we could in turn do the same. And it says, therefore, because he in his humanity suffered in being tempted, he is able immediately to run to the cry of and relieve those who are being tempted and exposed to suffering. And that's all we need right there. The moment we cry out to him, the moment we ask him, he's there to support us, to relieve us. And there is hope in him. He expects us to make it. He is not a God sitting up in heaven waiting for us to do something wrong. He is there, guiding us all the way along through this whole process so that we can also share in that reward that he's sharing in with the Father. And, you know, we got to think about these things in our own life, and that's what keeps us going. You know, if Jesus wouldn't have died and done all this for us, we would have been completely lost as humanity. I mean, there would have been no reason for us to even live, because but you know, in our own life, if we don't go through this process and die to ourselves, if we don't put to death the flesh daily and our desires and begin to live for others and for the glory of God and to be of service to other people, you know, how many people are we withholding good from by not surrendering our lives? You know, because our lives affect others. You know, your life affects those around you. There's people that will, you know, never have the plan of God in their life if you don't sacrifice yourself to have it in yours, because people need what's on the inside of you. People need your gift. People need, you know, to see your example of your willingness to surrender to God, and it's an example that others can follow to also live that life.
Yeah, so to keep going on along with that, like she was saying, if we don't learn these lessons, if we don't take it into our lives, how we can input this to everyday practice, you know, times are only getting worse. It's only getting darker out there, and I'm sure everybody can see that. We will not be able to make it when it comes to the end, when you have to sacrifice things that you thought you always wanted. You're not going to be able to do it because you don't have that total surrender. You don't have that total love for God just to be able to sacrifice whatever you got to sacrifice, just like Jesus did in the garden. Not his will, but only God's be done. You know, that's the big key here. It's not our will. I mean, if you notice throughout the scriptures, God's will was always for Jesus to lay his life down for somebody else. And, you know, that's what we're beginning to see is, yes, you can lay your life down for people, but you got to do it as God tells you to. That's the biggest key here. It's, my wife is a person I'm going to lay my life down for regardless of what happens, you know. There's many other people I would do that for. I mean, it's got to be the same for everybody, just as Jesus did. You've got to lay your own life down. You've got to lay your own desires down to satisfy your life with Jesus and to make God happy with us, you know. And there's a scripture that I want to read to kind of conclude this. It says, "And there will be the signs in the sun and moon and stars, and upon the earth there will be distress, trouble, and anguish of nations, and bewilderment and perplexity, without resources left wanting, embarrassed in doubt, not knowing which way to turn, at the roaring, the echo of the tossing of the sea." And we can see that's what it's coming to. You know, people are left wanting. They're embarrassed. They're in doubt, not knowing which way to turn. You know, we can see that everywhere. I mean, many of us, we've experienced that. You know, we don't know which way to turn all the time, but it's only going to get worse, you know. It says, "Men swooning away or expiring with fear and dread." It says expiring with fear. You know, we don't want to, God doesn't ever expire, you know, and we don't want to expire either. In fear or dread and apprehension and expectation of the things that are coming on the world. For the very powers of the heavens will be shaken and caused to totter, and you will be continually hated by everyone because of your association with my name. But not a hair of your head will perish. And you know, that's a promise from God. Not a hair of your head will perish. As long as you have sacrificed everything at the altar of God and given everything of what we wanted and have, you know, aspired to be at the altar of God, giving it all, you know, and forgetting it all. Because you know what, this is the only things that are going to matter in the end, you know, is being able to make it and help other people to make it through.
That's right. And verse 19 right there, it says, at the end of that passage, it says, "By your patient endurance, empowered by the Holy Spirit, you will gain the true life of your souls." And that's what it's all about, you know, is gaining eternal life. And, you know, this whole experience as a human is just, it's preparing us to be in heaven and to be with God throughout eternity, you know, and that's going to be a glorious time. And that's the reward that we're all looking forward to. You know, it might seem like pain. You know, the Bible says weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And that's what we want to share with all of you today, is that there's hope in Jesus Christ. You know, we don't have to be slaves to our old ways. We don't have to be slaves to bad habits. We don't have to be in fear of what's coming on the world. You know, we can find true life. We can find eternal life by just following the example every day of Christ's death. And we can daily be rescued from sin's, power, from Satan's power. And Jesus is our comforter. He's our helper, our healer, our advocate. And he wants to be with you throughout the rest of this day and every day. And that went fast, but we're so glad we got to come back and be with you. Don't forget to watch Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, WCAB. And the rest of our radio programs are also stored on wordoffaithfellowship.org. Have a great day.
Thank you.
The music's on us on WCAB.